We're back.
We at the after party.
Yeah, we're in the after party.
Okay, let me know.
Well, wait a minute.
My language changed when we get to the after party, and I need to make sure.
Wait a minute. I was in tears right there, and I had to collect myself real quick. That was something for some people. And I know
I can't be the only one who's been feeling this.
It's
been on my heart for a while, and I'm like, what do you do? How do you do? I mean, I know you can go to the Bible, I know you can go to the past and stuff like that.
You asked me a question a week ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember the question you asked me? You asked about a specific scripture.
I asked you about the scripture. Oh my God.
No weapon.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So if there's no weapon that shall form against you that shall prosper, how is it that in the wake of Waco, Texas, those people was able to go into the church and kill all those people?
Wait a minute.
How is it that God allowed all those churches to be burned down?
Let's start with this. Buildings mean nothing.
Buildings, no. Buildings do not mean nothing because the church is made of the people.
Right. Buildings mean nothing. But we got to look at, I'm going to do it just like I told you before. Prosper. The word prosper.
Right.
Prosper is saying it's going to prevent you from getting to where you're supposed to get to.
Okay.
Everyone's destination is different.
Exactly.
Everyone's journey
is
in this body is different.
Mm-hmm.
But what he is saying is nothing constructed, nothing I can do is going to be able to kill you.
Gotcha.
It's going to be able to deter you from getting back to him. Now you're saying, but these people were killed.
Right.
These people died.
Mm-hmm. That was just the shell.
Their shell died. Many times, cars get in accidents.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean necessarily that the inside, the people that it was carrying, died. The people that was, you're being encased inside of a body.
Okay.
And this body was made by dirt.
Yes, it was.
The dirt was covering the soul that he put inside. The soul is what has to prosper. It does not. He does not care about this body like that.
No.
He was going to allow us to have this body and be in this great orifices until we introduce sin, and then that's when death came into the picture. But he still wants your soul to prosper. He wants you to do well inside of your encapsulated body, your spaceship, your astronaut suit, whatever you want to say, ancient alien. But that is not the important part of the equation.
Yeah.
The important part is your soul. So anything that goes on here, it doesn't matter as long as your soul is still intact. When he calls back forward, he gets your soul. That's why I think it's really funny when you watch when people picture the rapture and you see all these bodies flying. The bodies ain't flying nowhere.
It would have said so.
But even if
the body's gonna change in the twinkling of an eye.
Even if they did, by the time they get past the atmosphere, they burn up.
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen anyone in a spaceship. You've never seen anyone go into space without being in a spaceship.
Exactly.
You can't find heaven on any globe or representation of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's not materialized.
It's spiritual.
It's spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. Cause that night, that afternoon, I died and went to this place. You have no recollection of being here at all. I promise you. The only thing that was brought to my attention was this voice that asked me if I was ready to go back, and I said no. Can I stay here? and the voice asked me, "What about your granddaughter?" And I said, "I don't care. I want to stay right here."
What about me?
I didn't care.
Well, you had that point. You don't understand.
Where I was, when I left this body, where I went to, I did not want to come back from it. I wanted to stay there. That when I woke up and literally saw I was back in that hospital room, I was pissed.
Pissed as hell.
I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I literally thought I was gone. I mean, I knew I was gone, but here's the thing. It wasn't until 2 days later I literally could put two and two together, because the female that I was with, I woke up crying, and she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I can't hold it any longer." I was like, the other day when you rushed me to the hospital, I was like, I feel like I died. And she started crying. Like, oh my God, I wanted to say something to you, but I was so scared. Yeah. And I was like, did you get your papers? And she was like, what papers? I was like, from the man that came in the room and said, the medicine they gave me, they discontinued using it. I should have never been given this medicine. This is how it makes patients act to the point of death. And she was like, how do you know that? And I was like, I was hovering above my body when he said that. And after he said that, everything went away. And all I know, I was in this, like how that light is illuminating. I was in this space like that, but it was so inviting. I was almost like in a fetal position. And I was just like, I want to stay here. I don't want to go back. That was like if I say that was a recollection, that was the only recollection of knowing I could have went back somewhere. But I literally felt like I was a fetus finna be born in somebody else and come back here as, I really felt like that. And maybe they was having an abortion and I ended up having to come back. I'm just gonna say it.
Can I say something on that?
No, can I say something to the people that aborted me? I'm mad at you right now.
Might have been easier.
That's true. Okay, never mind. You're off the hook. See how quick that worked?
But you couldn't return to him for what? When he sent you out, when he spoke purpose into you, you have to finish that purpose.
You hear that, Marquise? You gotta finish your purpose.
And I feel like this, and I'm gonna really just go blank with y'all. There's a movie that my pastor appeared in, and I'm gonna use this movie. The movie was Naked.
I'm looking like that.
The movie was Naked. Yes, my pastor appeared in the movie Naked. But the problem was he kept on rehearsing this same day over and over and over and over until he got it right. God will send you back to this earth over and over and over until that mission is complete.
He is not lying, because that was the second time that happened to me.
Yeah, he could have went back. He would have been born again and probably even darker.
But y'all is not gonna do, because he just did that earlier. And then I'm gonna try to keep a straight face. I dare you. I dare you. He's gonna try to keep a straight face.
You ain't getting no lighter.
That's that dark chocolate cocoa. You know when you go for him, it smells like cocoa butter and oil and stuff.
That's why I call it special dark.
Oh my God.
But he would have went through this life over and over until you have accomplished this mission.
But how do you know what your purpose genuinely is?
Ooh, hey, that's a good one.
Like, okay, you hear what man's purpose is, but how do you know what God's purpose is? Like, God reveals his purpose to man in many different manifestations, in many different But to really
Did he just
understand,
walk off the set like that?
but to like really understand like what God has designed for your purpose to be on this earth. It could be a multitude of
here we
anything
go.
without him speaking that genuinely word. Your purpose could be to give someone a meal or give them shelter and not even knowing that's not even your purpose.
You see this apparatus?
What is this?
That's what he's gonna ask you.
Let me show you. This apparatus. You know what this is?
Look at it, examine it, and see if you can discover.
I
What
know I
that
watched it a couple times. I was going, oh, it expands.
This apparatus, you don't know what it is.
No, I don't know the purpose of it at all.
Okay, so if you didn't know the purpose
Seriously.
of that, no.
Okay.
If you didn't know the purpose of that, how would you find out what its purpose is?
I would ask somebody
Okay.
what the purpose is.
All right, and so we're gonna ask this person.
What's
the purpose of this?
This is a steamer.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
How do you know that's a steamer?
Well, I mean, being a cook, profession. I mean, I shouldn't say profession, but knowing by being a cook, I didn't know what it was when I first was asked this question. But when it expanded, then I realized it goes in the pot and you put yours in the waters up under here and it steams your vegetables or whatever.
If you did not,
But I would
that
go
knowledge.
online and look it up.
Well, I would use
know.
Google Lens and
Yeah.
everything.
All right,
We
all
have
right.
that now,
Look,
but I'm just
yeah,
saying.
got it. You
got
said
it. Mhm.
Watch this. So you would find out who made this
Mhm.
Right.
and ask them what
What
is
the purpose
what is
is.
the purpose of this.
Right.
Let's go back to your question. What is your purpose?
What is my purpose? Right.
So
Who made you?
God made me.
Ask them what your purpose is. How else you gonna know if you don't ask who
if
made
you,
you?
the creator that creates something has
Knows
instilled a purpose
what it is.
into that creation.
Right.
So if you don't know what the creation is, you go back to the creator. If Apple told you this was
A car.
a
alarm.
doomsday,
Oh, what?
a doomsday. This was a expensive
Do
death
this.
weight.
Wow.
We just wanted to keep paper on the
From blowing
from
away.
blowing away.
Okay.
That would be the that would be the true purpose of it.
But if you just looked at it and didn't know it, you would have to find out
What it is.
who made it, or
What was
you
the
know,
purpose
then
behind
what did
it?
you do? What is this for? So God made you. You have to go to Him and ask Him what your purpose is.
Now you can't ask other people.
And they will steal
They will.
your ass wrong.
They
Oh my
will.
God.
They will tell you what they think they know about you.
Right.
That's
And
funny. You
even-
had made that. You said that because just this week, I was listening. Shout out to Pastor Rick Warren. He said that same thing.
Isn't that the one in Saddleback made the purpose-driven life?
Yes, that's
Shout
exactly
out.
what that. That's exactly what that is. And he said that same thing. Dang, you made me lose my thought.
If you ask someone else what your
Yeah,
purpose
he
is,
said you keep asking other people. They only can tell you what they're capable of thinking of what, and most of the time they project on you to do what really they're supposed to do and get you out of pocket with what you're supposed to do. But yet they're thinking they A-okay because they told you, and you're all steered wrong. You know it's not your purpose because things are not lining up right.
now if a lot of people will tell you that this is a strainer.
I'm gonna be honest. I did use that as straight.
No. This can be used
That's-
as a strainer.
That was my first guess when I
This
saw it. I was like,
can
that's
be
a
used
strainer.
as a strainer.
Okay.
But as a strainer is not fulfilling its full purpose.
It did because it made me struggle.
Yes, because the strainer would most likely not expand like this. A strainer usually it would be a solid shape so that you couldn't get anything through it. So, asking folks can help you along the way, but don't take their word for Bible.
Because God can speak directly to you and tell you.
He wants to speak directly to you and tell you. And the other thing is, you gotta renew your subscription with him.
See, that's just it. Like
My
subscription with God didn't happen because of what. Okay, let me explain to this. The reason why I got saved is not because of what Christ did. It had nothing to do with what he did, who he was.
Mm-hmm.
It only had to do with his power.
Okay.
Now let me explain what that means. My mother struggled with cocaine and heroin all her life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never seen her clean. I've never seen her in her right stable mind.
Okay.
After years of trying to get her the help that she needed, I finally seen that. And it wasn't because of what man did. It was because of the power that God had that gave it to her.
Here we go. Oh.
Now, once I seen that power, that's what I wanted for my life. It didn't have anything to do with the name, the purpose. It was the power that was in that name.
Mm-hmm.
And for that power to be that consuming and that dramatic, I wanted to experience that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it did something that man said no to and shut the door out of.
Okay.
So I wanted it for my life. But as time progressed, I mean, I don't know if I'm still able to believe in that same power that manifested.
Can I stop you right there? Three things. First thing is, who are you affecting?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
No. I'm
rhetorically speaking.
It is a rhetorical question because on the way over, Warren did something that we usually never do, and he asked me what we were going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I said, the only thing I have in my head is about who are you affecting? Mm-hmm. And your story shows that the power that you've seen affected you into aligning yourself up to the king.
Right.
I like that rap.
That was pretty good.
Two, I had a conversation earlier today, and we were talking about evangelism.
Okay.
And a lot of evangelism, unfortunately, base you getting right because of fear. No. Back in the day, we were trying to evangelize like this. If you was dodging today, where would your soul go?
And that's what they would come up to me like, if you was not there, what was your son? I really don't know. I don't care right now.
They even ask you, do you know where your soul is going?
Do you know where yours is going?
Jehovah's Witnesses to this day will ask you that question. Mm-hmm. And the problem I have with that question is salvation is not all 100% about where your soul is going afterwards. Because what I just told you guys, if your soul ain't right, it's going to come right back here, and we're going to repeat this over and over. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, you should want to be saved for the benefits, for the love, for the, I'm not even going to say obligation, because it's not an obligation. You want to reconnect to the power that made you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Once you align with that power, you should be as powerful as the power it has. Mm-hmm. And you said that you wanted that power. Mm-hmm. You have that power. Actually, we're instilled with that power. Oh my goodness, if y'all don't want me to go to Genesis, I'm going to go anyway. Mm-hmm. In Genesis, he gave man dominion. That means anything on this earth, we have the right to
speak
to make it, align it to what we need to get done. Mm-hmm. And in the Bible it says you have the power of life and death in the tongue. The whole world was made by him speaking. You mentioned it earlier when I turned on this light. And God said, let there be light. Mm-hmm. And there was light. So you have that power. like I told you in the other show, I'm speaking life into you. I'm speaking that you're going to have power when you resurrect. You have that same power. You have dominion. You have the rights. You have the deed to your being and every creeping thing underneath your feet. So use what power you have. If you had a checking account that had $1,000 in it, let's make it $10,000, and you never executed a check. You never.
Did you hear that?
You never used your debit card. That doesn't mean you don't have the power of whatever that amount is. You just don't know how to use it. I'm tired.
We done.
Go ahead. I'm tired.
Bye, y'all.
Keep going.
We could, and me and Joseph will, because he know I was finna brew with it, but this is real interesting. I think my silence more came from applying where it was applicable for this week, because I almost lost sight like that. Like he know I'm pretty good about containing myself, but when he texted me, I put it like this: the enemy was coming so tough that it even went to the point where, okay, you didn't get a text from Joey. I'm like, oh yeah, well, what's wrong with this nigga? Why he ain't said, hold on, hello, sir? And he would say something, and I'm like, not hearing his voice at all. That was dry. How am I say how that was dry? That was a text. So I went through that whole spiel, like, just, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. Then work started happening, and then I had to move and go down and live with my son. And it's like, you know what? I'm just done. Whatever. I'm gonna go back to Cleveland. I had so many thoughts this week of what I was gonna do.
Exactly.
And I said, you know what? I wish I would. And I want to put this to you. And see, now I feel like I got my look. But I want to put this to you. For me, in my past, from hearing what you said, I was a lot like you. And I mean, from relationships on to just things that, the little bitty things that irk the shit out of you. One thing I had learned, every time it got to that point, I ran from it.
Exactly.
Instead of standing there and fucking fighting it and getting past it. And the first time I did it and saw what was on the other side, it's like, and that's what I was trying to bring that analogy earlier. Like, every time, now it's like, am I setting myself up to go for this long endurance thing? Because should I just throw in the towel and make it come over easy? But it's not, because he knows what he took you through thus far, and he knows how strong you became to that point. It's time to stretch you to another point, because what he has for you is going to take you places you're going to be glad you stuck with it. It's not worth you trying to check out. It's not worth you trying to hurt yourself. It's not worth you trying to fight, because the person you're fighting is Marquise. You're not fighting nobody else.
I'm just tired of doing the same thing over and over and over. And as I keep looking back on my life, I just keep thinking like, okay, I could have did this better. Now that I want to do this better, it just seems like the past is catching up to me, and I don't know how to rectify it. I don't know.
Listen, but you're not listening to yourself. You giving yourself the answer, and you're not even listening to it. You stepped outside the box and got a little afraid and jumped right back in it. And you blaming it on the past catching up with you, but it's really you going back to what's comfort for you, instead of staying outside of it and learning how to be comfortable with the new thing that's there. You got a desire in you to do different. You've been seeing the difference that you could be doing, but it's something in that you're seeing that's making you feel selfless, making you feel like you can't handle it, making you feel like you're gonna fail. So fuck it, let me go back to doing what I normally do. This is comfortable, but I'm tired of this bullshit too because it's keeping me down. But really, Marquise, it's me, you keeping me down. Marquise, you keeping me down. I gotta move Marquise out the way and let God bring those things that He's been bringing. And because I might take a step towards it, oh, I done fucked it up already. Fuck it, I'm gonna go back to doing what I normally do because I got this mastered. Keep it going. Quit running from it. It's there for you for a reason. And I be damned I'm talking to myself, but it's there for you for a reason. The tears is there because you full, and now you have to get those out so that you could be filled with something else. You gotta get empty. It's not going to be, I'll say this, and I'll say it for me. The battles was in my head. I made it harder with the thoughts of thinking what I thought as I was trying to make that transition for better. I kept telling myself, and the idle mind was just kicking my ass, and I kept giving in to it. I'm gonna throw that piece to you. It's up here. You doing this. God ain't got it. I can't even give the devil the credit on it. He might have the puppet strings, but you orchestrating the illusion that he's putting out there because it's easy for you to deal with that than it is for something new. It's time for you to give yourself the confidence that you need. You got it. You need. You take care of your shit. You're not an ugly person. You got a nice little petite little body on you. You dress the part. You like the finer things. What's holding you back? Exactly. Exactly.
When are you gonna stop that? Don't answer it.
Yeah, it's not. That was just a rhetorical. Yeah.
Don't answer it out loud.
Because I was about to say the same thing.
How are you gonna?
How are you gonna answer before I can know when?
So write down those things that, and I think that would be because that I think I'm gonna even do that same exercise.
Well, I'm gonna do the same exercise in a few minutes because I didn't.
Yeah, because once you
I ain't never followed that in my life.
My life, I ain't gonna say my whole life because I piled a lot of that shit in that storage bin. But the essence of my life is in that car right now. If something was to happen to that car, I would be devastated. Not because the fucking car, but the shit that's in it.
Right. That's how I feel like my shit.
Yeah, the shit that's in it. So one thing I learned, and I attribute a lot of this to Joey, a friend of mine in Ohio, and the young lady that I was just texting with that I work with. Mm-hmm. All three of them gave me a different type of journal. And there's something written in all three of the journals that they give me. It's going to take hella long to fill up the pages in it, but that's not my concern. It's something about the way when I go to write it out, it's strategically put in one of those three. And when I just made this transition back to my storage bin, looking for something he requested, I put all three together and I just started reading. It's real mind-blowing of the things that's in this particular one versus this particular one versus this particular one, but how they all kind of tie in together.
Exactly. Each book has a significant purpose, but when you bring them all together, it fills that whole purpose into one.
So I think that's
just like the gospel.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Each person has a different perspective. Each journal has a different perspective, but they're all one story.
Every week, I try to talk myself out of coming here. Every week, ever since we started, he'll tell you, to the point that I can't. Oh my God, I'm sick. I don't know if we can do this tonight. And he just totally ignored me. He saw how I got out the car. I literally was having a pain in my leg. But the difference between the first time and now, the first time I was purposely trying to get out of it. Now I'm purposely bringing myself here because I know how I'm going to feel once it's gone. Once I leave. It's like, I'm so glad I went. That it's like whatever the enemy tries to do, whatever obstacle is put in my way to try to stop me from, I defeat it. It's like, I don't care what you do. And it's building my faith. It's like, I don't care what you do. You not finna stop me from going. I don't care if the fucking car cut off. I'm catching a bus. Or if I got an Uber, whatever the case may be, you're not gonna stop me. So, but every week I'm faced with that challenge. I really do not want. I'd be like, I'm not going. I think of it. It's like as soon as I see the ideas or the stuff pop in my head to try to get me to strategize about not going, it's that much more I say I'm going. That much more I say I'm going, and that's that. I would love to see you get to that point. Every time you feel like, or you step outside that box, and it's gonna look intimidating. It's gonna have some fear to it. It's gonna be, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna keep going. When you look back, just look back at that and be like, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. I know that. I got that master. Turn this new thing. But it's something exciting about this. It's gotta be. Or it wouldn't keep drawing me to it. God knows you're tired. I know that for a fact. He knows you're tired. And it shows. Because a lot of people just don't cry in front of just anybody. So it's showing that there is something there. And you just got to get to that point where you say, you know what? Enough is enough. So yeah, write that down tonight. Write down all the shit that just pisses you fucking off. And look, don't just write it and be done. Read back through it and understand what it is. So that when you walk out that door and get in that car and go, and when you start seeing them things come, nope, I ain't fucking with this. I got this. Now that I will say, I know that works. What's the first thing I said about him when I first met him? When we was outside and he came and brought them, he was bringing them chairs in. I never said it to him, but I told him, he seemed like he's such a nice guy. But like you could just see it. We didn't even ask him to help tear this down. He saw us over and just came out and just your servitude, attitude that you have. It's gonna take you a long.
Like I know what it's like.
It's gonna take you a long way.
Not to have, or just. I know what it's like, not to go without. I know what it's like to go struggle. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like not to have someone in your corner. And it's because of that that's made me who I am today. I'm not perfect. I'm not all the way the greatest humanitarian that could be, but I understand the struggle. And when I see it, it's just something that naturally just kicks in because I've been through it before.
That's gonna take you a long way. I'm telling you. What we doing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It was still taking? Are you serious? Oh shit.